for us to become successful traders, first, we need to understand our personality. We need to understand that not all trading strategies out there will suit us. Just because we see strategies all over YouTube, all over Twitter, all over social medias that are working for someone else, it doesn't mean that it will work for us. We need to take the time to discover the trading style that aligns with our risk tolerance, our patience, and our temperament. Trading success comes from being true to ourselves rather than following blindly anyone on social media. Hey there, Tamir from Fibonacci-Traders.com with the daily market recap. Please hit the like, subscribe, share with friends, and without any further ado, let's see the charts. 48 hours more or less until FOMC rate decision, and it doesn't really matter because all that matters is how the market will react to the decision. Bad reaction and this purple trend line will need to hold, otherwise we're heading towards the 435. A weekly close below the 435. In my opinion, we are heading towards this gap at the 423. Good reaction. This purple trend line will become a very tough resistance. Above it, we are heading towards the 454 and closing this gap at the 455. And of course, we have this small gap at the 448. And we know that more than 80-85% of all gaps will get filled throughout time. The only thing we have to do is follow price, use levels and trend lines as our risk management for future price action. That's it. No one knows what will happen next. Qs, 368, 370 area is still holding as support. Bad reaction for the FOMC, and we are heading towards the 361 and then 350 to the downside. Maybe 356 will become a major support. Good reaction, and we are heading, retesting this purple trend line. This purple trend line helps us to identify the lower highs since the peak of July. Above it, 381, 384, and then we can take Fibonacci to the upside to let us know future potential resistance. 386 and 393 above it. Dow Jones, back below this purple trend line. This is why I always say, one candle does not change the overall sentiment. The overall sentiment of the Dow Jones since the peak of August is downtrend. But we also have this purple trend line that goes way back to March, holding the higher lows, which means if we zoom out, we can clearly see that the price range on the Dow Jones is getting tighter and tighter, lower highs, higher lows. Good reaction, and we are heading towards the 350. Above it, 356. Bad reaction, this purple trend line needs to hold. Otherwise, we have the gap at the 339 and 332. Don't be surprised if those gaps will get filled in case of bad reaction to FOMC rate decision. IWM looks like bulls are getting weaker and weaker each and every day. 182 needs to hold. Very important level of support. We have some kind of a head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Below it, 179, and then this gap at the 176 will get filled. We can delete all these arrows just to make our life easier, our chart cleaner. So be prepared. Bitcoin, you know these levels, 27 now. Resistance, it was resistance over here. Resistance now, 26,500 is the support. Let's see if this week over here, this tail will get filled with this candle over here above 27,400, and we are heading towards 28. Above it, we can take Fibonacci to the upside, 29 and then 30 area. Bad reaction, and yes, it will affect also Bitcoin, and we are heading straight back to this red line, the 25 area. Ethereum, nothing much. You know this purple trend line, short term downtrend line. Price range of Ethereum, very tight price range. 16 is holding. This area, the 1650, together with this purple trend line, very tough resistance. Look left, since August, very tough resistance, breaking up and above 1730, and then this purple trend line breaking below the 16, and we're heading towards 1530, and then this purple trend line to the downside. KRE breaking below and closing this gap from July 11th. This is why we always say another proof of all gaps will get filled throughout time. Now we can take Fibonacci. We already have Fibonacci. 4132 is next. Let's see where KRE is heading. For now, to the downside. Oil continue its marathon, its bull run towards the 92 area. Above it, we are heading towards the 98 100 area. 89 is now support, below it 86, but for now oil is looking good. Let's see this over here. Let's take it over here, and we are heading towards the 89, the 98. Follow these trend lines. Let's see if we can get 98 by the end of September. SOXX, this trend line broke last Friday. Now it will become resistance, breaking below this area, breaking below the 472. This gap will get filled. Below it, 433 gap. Apple trying to run away from the 173 because bulls of Apple knows that once the 173 will get broken to the downside, 170, and then this gap at the 167 will come next. Let's see continuation. Can we close this gap at the 181 before FOMC? And then we have a good reaction for the FOMC rate decision. Apple have double bottom scenario of the 173. We have downtrend, bottom, bounce, back to this area, another bottom, now trying to bounce once again, closing this gap, a daily close above 183, and a good reaction, of course, for the FOMC rate decision, and we're heading towards the 191, closing this gap over here. Amazon sliding down slowly. 140 now needs to hold. Below it, 138, 136. Overall, Amazon, very tough price range, as you can see. Since August, basically nothing much. Let's see. Nvidia, another perfect example of why trend lines are the true support resistance for price action into the future. Look left, anyone can look left. Our problem as traders is what will happen next. By really understanding the in-depth relationship between candlestick analysis, aka pure price action, and any time frame, and it doesn't matter if it's the daily, 5 minutes, weekly, and it doesn't matter if it's Bitcoin, SPY, Nvidia, trend lines are the true support resistance and the roadmap for future price action. Go back few videos back and you will see that we have been talking about this trend line in the past few weeks already. We said breaking below the 467, 446 will come as a very important support, and then we're heading towards this purple trend line. Now let's see if bulls of Nvidia can bounce back above the 447 and then towards back to the 467. Tomorrow, Tuesday, I'm not looking for some kind of a price range. To be frankly, nothing much will come tomorrow because everyone is waiting for Wednesday's FOMC. Tesla, we have long-term purple trend line since April, holding the higher lows, and since middle of August, we have another uptrend channel that's holding the higher lows and holding the higher highs. Breaking below this gap at the 256 will get filled, and then we are heading towards this purple trend line long continuation above 278 towards the gap at the 289. Meta moving sideways, 297 now is the support. It was a very tough resistance, then became support. Now once again support. Let's see continuation above the 304, then we have 313. Below it, we have all the levels to the downside. We don't need to guess where price might be heading next. We have Fibonacci to the downside, Fibonacci to the upside. Follow price and use the Fibonacci as your guide for future risk management. Shopify, if you follow me on YouTube and on Twitter, you remember that few weeks back we said the 63 area is a very important level of support. Breaking below the 63, we will go and fill the gap from August 30. And here we are. This gap got filled. We also said that the same price action we got here, higher lows, higher highs, we can get over here, lower highs and lower lows. For now, it's getting validated. If you want to go long on Shopify, this is not the time. We need some kind of a reversal that will validate that this retracement is over. But for now, 58.80 and then 56. Below it, we are heading towards the 51. AMD, Friday broke the long-term uptrend line. This line goes back to October 2022. 1 year of an uptrend got broken. Now we are inside this red downtrend channel. This line will become a very tough resistance because it was a very important and a very strong area of support. Now, by natural things of price action, it will become a very tough resistance for AMD. So if you want to go long on AMD, only a weekly close above this red channel. Microsoft, nothing much. Very tough price action on Microsoft. We have up, downtrend, bounce towards the 618. Now, retracement, 50% is holding. Below it, 322. Let's see what Microsoft will bring and how market will react to FOMC. Good reaction, we have all the levels to the upside. Bad reaction, we can take Fibonacci to the downside. Now we have all future support for Microsoft. Google holding strong, relative strength to the rest of the market. 136 is holding together with this white trend line. 139 still tough resistance, breaking up and above. And in my opinion, 147 and then 161. Bad reaction, and we are heading towards 131 and then 126. Netflix broke below this red trend line, and since then, downside towards the 383 gap. We can see that this trend line goes way back to June of 2022. Held the higher lows since then until it broke last Wednesday, September 13. This trend got broken. Now we're heading towards the gap at the 383 together with this purple trend line that's holding the lower lows since end of June. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit like, subscribe, share with friends, hit the notification bell. We are going live 2 times a day, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Until the next video, stay safe.